It's video time! Easter oil charge, compatible with 134 and R12. I've got my accumulator removed. I thought it had a Schrader valve, but that's not a Schrader valve you're looking at. That's the port for the pressure switch. So I do in fact have the correct accumulator. I will install it. I've got new O-rings installed, and I'll put some chainsaw oil lube on it. No. That goes there. And my Orifice tube is behind the grill, right there, thanks to CorvairCentralForum.com. Got all my tools. Mrs. CW just went to the Keene Valley to go hiking at Noonmark, and she turned around and came back because they're having thunder and lightning. I wonder if we're going to get that. There's my new compressor. I've got one spare bolt, and I searched and searched. I have no idea where this bolt goes. Don't know. Spare parts. What else is there? Alright, I got work to do. I've been busy here. I couldn't find the camera. Came in a new case, and I had it in the case, but not on my belt where it usually goes. Doesn't fit that case. Too bad. The camera is huge. It's almost like an SLR. I've got my D-rings to install to hold down my load that I'm going to be picking up. I've got my new plexiglass window installed, and I had it cut a fraction too small, 1/8 of an inch, so it tips out of the track, but not a big deal. Clunk, clunk. I've got to clean these windows. They're kind of grimy. I like to see where I'm going, see where I've been. I straightened up the track with this flat duckbill vice grips because it was whacked here. I fixed that right up. And my camera battery is going dead. Luckily the new camera takes the same battery as the old camera, but a different little cable. The cable that transfers the information to the computer is a tiny plug. So I had to get the cable last night. I spoke with Spiked Punk, and he told me that the accumulator is the same, thanks to Spiked Punk. I thought it was a Schrader valve, but it's not. Told you that. I got an Orifice tube right here in my pocket. $2, made in China. Orifice tube. Makes the Freon freeze. And put this thing back together. And I'll weld up my tow bar, which is way back there. I've got work to do. And I'll watch out for stray shopping carts. Because, hey, you never know. Back with this button on the back of the camera. I'll show it to you in the mirror. It's so hard to press, even worse than the other one. Right there. So I hold the camera like this, and I gotta bend my finger backwards to hit that button. Wait a minute. You can't see that. Button's on the back. Need 2 mirrors. That's funny. Anyhow, what was I doing? I got some shrink tubing on these wires that go to the pressure switch on the accumulator receiver dryer because they're kind of in rough shape and the plastic connector melted off. So if you bear with me, I'm going to heat them up with my trusty little propane torch. Crank her up. I've got some nice shrink tubing on, made in China. I'm going to run the shrink tubing almost all the way to the end to protect these wires from touching and bypassing my safety circulating switch. Circulates, or it cycles the compressor. I misspoke. It's hot day today, humid, and everything is hot. Birch is hot, shrink tubing is hot. Come on, shrink. Wow, it's hot on the finger. Huh, it ain't shrinking. Come on, baby. It's catching on fire. Shrink tubing. It ain't shrinking. Effective shrink tubing? I'm burning my fingers. Huh. Maybe that shrinks right up. Whatever. It's good enough. Just keep them a little insulated. Alright, that's installed. Now I gotta take off the grill. Get to my Orifice tube. Orifice. $2. Hit that hard to find button. It says in the instructions of this $140 compressor, or $130 minus a $50 gift card, to rotate compressor by hand at least 10 times to evacuate oil, shipping oil, from the cylinders. So don't just turn that. It's just a pulley that's actually wobbling. How do you like that? Looks like there's a wobble in the pulley. Anyways, Made in Mexico. Remade in Mexico. Up to 80% or 78% new parts. Maybe 10%. Anyway, it says to rotate the compressor, so you got to turn the middle, which is attached to the pump. Turn it 10 times, it says, to evacuate oil from the cylinders. So I'm following all the instructions. Got to do it right. I'm not counting how many times it is, but there's a wobble plate in there, and it wobbles, and the cylinders go in and out on the wobble plate. 2-in-a-can compressor. Junk. Take off and remove the flat belt so I can rotate the compressor by hand. A couple more times. What the heck, huh? That should do it. Put that switch on. Switch connector. Goes like... Come on. Got it indexed properly. Don't want to wreck it. That's it. And the compressor switch. Oops, sorry. Wandering camera. There. Now I'll send Mrs. CW to get me some Easter oil for the Easter bunny. And I got some flush in the Suburban. And I got some carrots. I'll be eating lots of those on my trip. How many frames per second does it say here? No, but it's definitely shaky. I'm going to go look in the menu. See you in a bit. Grill's coming off. Alright. I got the turn signal housing removed. I lost one of the screws last year, but now I have a parts truck. Got the turn signal popped out. And I had the whole grill loose, but I realized you can get to this fitting. So I've already pre-loosened it. And maybe... oh boy. Maybe the expansion tube is in there. But I can't get it to lift up because I got a transmission cooler line bearing against it. So give me a minute. I need 2 hands. I found it. It's inside this tube. There's a dimple down here to stop it from dropping all the way down. You can't see that dimple, but there's a slight dimple in the pipe. So I'm going to see if I can get it out of here with this internal expanding gizmo. I think that's it. Sure looks like it's in there. Yeah. There it is. Now I just have to get it out of there. I'm going to need a pair of mini pliers to grip it. It's in there. It's in there. There it is. I'm going to have to dry this system out. Oop. A couple of chunks of steel. Expansion tube, orifice tube. Got to take out the parking lamp. I thought you had to remove the whole grill, but you don't. A couple of chunks of steel in there. We got her. Got my new one right there. $2. Made in China. That's where the expansion tube is. Huh. It's got an O-ring, gotta push it in. Is it the exact same? Yep. Clunk. That's it. It's in there. Just like the spaghetti sauce. It's in there. Including sugar and oil and stuff you really don't need in your diet. How's that O-ring? Better be good enough because it's going back. Give me a sec. Need two hands.